Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and we're back again for more predictions. This time we're going to predict the rest of the categories. We did Best Picture, we did the acting categories, and many of these categories, our predictions are hinged on what is in Best Picture, so we kind of just assume that maybe you've seen that video or you know what our list is. So we're not going to over-explain ourselves again for why we have things in categories that just make sense if we have them in picture. But let's start off with Best Director. We got Sinners at number 1. Ryan Coogler can definitely win if that movie wins Best Picture.
Yeah. I mean, he's got that scene. I think arguably no other filmmaker will top what he achieved in just that scene. And sometimes it really matters whether you have something very memorable, like a staple in your film, or you did some kind of filmmaking achievement. I think Sinners kind of does tick that box. Number 2, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value. How would this not happen? It's a Cannes movie. It was the runner-up for the Palm. And if it's in Best Picture and it's a Cannes movie, you get yourself in there for director too. It happened last year in
3 times.
Kind of an insane example. 3 out of the 5 directing slots went to Cannes films. Yep. And it was every Cannes film that was in Best Picture. And we're all going to be really excited for Joachim Trier to get that nomination. Number 3, what do you think?
I have Josh Safdie. I was thinking about him or Panahi at number 3.
Panahi at number 3?
It's gonna fucking happen, dude. I'm telling you, it's happening.
You have it at number 8.
Yeah, that's plenty. He's getting in.
Wait. If no other choice is a contender, does he get in?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how Neon has all that going on. Josh Safdie, though, he's built a name for himself as an auteur director.
Right.
And now he's in the Oscar race. That usually gets you nominated. Marty Supreme also looks like it has a lot of potential to be a top 5 contender.
Right. I think it looks like a 10 nomination film as long as it's well liked, which I believe it will be, and it seems like he's really pulled off something. It seems like a sprawling kind of epic that we don't get anymore, and the cinematography and the performances look great. Just it looks all around very, very well made. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, unless it's like a little commercial for the director's branch, but I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Seems like something that would get nominated everywhere. I have Noah Baumbach.
I have Noah Baumbach in now too, because look, Netflix goes harder than number ones. Was Marriage Story Netflix's number 1? It was not. It was The Irishman. And maybe that is where he kind of fell. I mean, that directing race was packed in, okay? I think if Jay Kelly's top 5, they could nominate Baumbach. It could be his time. Cinematography looks very good in the movie.
It was kind of crazy that he didn't land one for Marriage Story, I thought. We have another opportunity. It's the sun's out. It's a new day, and we can get Baumbach a nomination here if Jay Kelly is everything it's kind of hyped up to be.
It's even more Oscar bait. It was just an accident. Look, here's how I view it. Cold War and Another Round, I know they weren't in Years of 10, but I don't think they would have been nominated for Best Picture in Years of 10. I think Panahi is that at minimum, probably. I mean, I guess he could be nothing in a world, but I think he's probably that at least. I mean, the guy has an incredible career going back to, the 90s, mid-90s? And this is his year to be appreciated after that Palm win. I think he's going to kill it at the remaining festivals in the year. And the director's branch likes to show that they appreciate an auteur filmmaker, especially someone who went to Cannes and won the Palm. Oh my God. I actually think he makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Even if the movie missed picture, it could happen. But I think that it will probably get picture along with it.
As long as, the director's branch, I couldn't recognize them last year. I didn't understand, who the director's branch was. But that was an outlier. Every other year, they do tend to surprise us with their international recognition. I think this makes just enough sense, especially having it anywhere in Best Picture. I think it's worth having it here, too.
Last year, they did have their international recognition. They had 2 French filmmakers in there. And they had...
Farshad, I guess. I mean, it's an English language film.
But they didn't have any other options, really, that were, very much on the table. And,
they had...
Mangold's, a veteran filmmaker.
I mean, really, I was disappointed that they didn't nominate Ramel Ross, but at the same time, I can see why it was his first narrative feature.
Panahi is incredibly seasoned. I think it's going to happen. That's all I'm saying.
I know. Panahi's a relentless filmmaker. And, again... if the campaign is right, you have this narrative about somebody who will not give up, will not put down the camera, even when they face adversity or imprisonment, right? So if they can really make that known that he's the paragon of cinema, like that kind of represents something. There's a really good narrative there, and again, it depends on the campaign.
But my thing is,
and I really think we're gonna need to monitor how well this movie's received at the fall festivals. I think that is super important for
right
it to
now,
it can maintain its life into Oscar season. I think I want to be walking around TIFF hearing about how everybody loves that film and how it was a deserving Palm winner and how it should get nominated. Like, that's the kind of feedback I want to be hearing.
Well, the movie's playing at Melbourne Film Festival right now, and that's why the Letterboxd went up to a 4.0. So it's already going well for the movie.
Yeah, I anticipated that too. I was like, you know what? People are going to start giving this film more like 4.5 and 5 on Letterboxd, and like the perception around it is going to change because they elevated it with the Palm.
It's his second highest rated on Letterboxd right now. I'm very confident about Panahi. You can say it's misplaced, but like the director's branch,
confident
you can say,
as
like,
I
they
could
have to
be.
create the narrative. Like the director's branch actually knows already. They actually
probably
know.
Number 6, I'm actually between Paul Thomas Anderson and Chloe Zhao. I don't know. What do you think about Hamnet finding its way into this race? Like, I wonder if it's a very highbrow film or whether it's more of an audience film. I'm not really sure. Maybe 6 is too high for it.
I feel like it's like Maestro.
Right.
Maestro had artistic tendencies, but I guess not in a way where the director's branch wanted to go for that. I mean, to be fair, Chloe Zhao already got nominated. She won. She doesn't have to prove that she's in the club, but I do feel like the movie will be bottom 5. And that it will get in more off of like as a tearjerker than being like the 90 on Metacritic type movie.
But because it's such a period immersed film and it could have craft nominations and acting nominations, I think it just could have a high nomination count, and she could be the only female filmmaker in the race, which makes her stand out.
Yeah, I mean, I just anticipate that it might have some division with critics that keeps it out of like
I don't know.
Best Director.
I'm not gonna. I can't have that at number 6. You're right.
I agree with PTA though. He definitely has a shot here. He did sneak in for Phantom Thread, even though that movie seemed to just sneak into Best Picture. And
goodwill for Paul Thomas Anderson, obviously. And One Battle After Another. I don't think this will be his most highbrow film. I think that's pretty obvious. But the director's branch likes to nominate, their favorites, and he's definitely one of the greatest filmmakers working right now. I just don't know how well the film will be received compared to his other works. I expect it will be received a little more lukewarm. So it's hard to tell. I mean, but it is the kind of thing the director's branch could pull out and surprise when the precursors may not even be recognizing that film as much. So he's worth considering, even though that film's pretty low in my Best Picture predictions.
Del Toro for Frankenstein.
One thing that high up?
One thing we neglect to mention is that Del Toro is talking about this movie like it's the one he's wanted to make for like 20 years, and he couldn't get the
always
funding.
says. He said that about Pinocchio.
That's great. Pinocchio wasn't in Best Picture. If Frankenstein's in Best Picture, he'll have a great case for Best Director.
You think so?
Yeah.
Making like a fantasy film.
I mean,
that looks a little bit like CGI-y.
I mean, I heard that he really tried to keep the CGI minimal. Maybe it's just the trailer that, like, and when you watch the movie, it won't feel like that.
I have a hard time seeing Frankenstein as a Best Picture nominated film.
It's not. I mean, it could win some crafts.
Right. That's fine. I feel like those are easily separable in my mind.
Not that many movies win multiple crafts and don't get into Best Picture. Lanthimos for Begonia, I think that only happens if he's top 5, seeing that the movie is probably not going for like those double-digit nominations that he's gotten in the past. Yeah. Park Chan-wook for No Other Choice.
Yeah.
If that movie's in picture, he will make it into director for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of why I have him in my top 10. Because, if that film happens, he's like a slam dunk. Catherine Bigelow for A House of Dynamite. I'm really waiting to see whether House of Dynamite is something big. And there's a written statement out there from Catherine Bigelow about how the film is about anxiety around nuclear weapons and, the consequences of using them and the deliberations that are being had behind the scenes. Like, that's what the film is.
Motive Fast Fold for Ann Lee. Again, if it's in picture. What are some...
I have a Hikari for Rental Family. I know it probably would not happen.
21.
21.
Like, there's
but
not
what if she got DGA? What if she was
I don't care.
Okay, I'm just saying she could get DGA. John Chu. Some people seem more confident in him here than they were for the previous film, which is kind of a strange outlook. It doesn't really make sense.
I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah. If I just go down the list, it's gonna just be what I have in Best Picture, right? I have Long Shot for Oliver Locks and Surratt.
You can throw out a couple.
Guadagnino for After the Hunt. I feel like even if that got into Best Picture, it'd be squeaking in, and it wouldn't even get directed.
You can throw in like Masha Shalinsky Sound of Falling.
Yeah.
Like maybe the Globes would do that, but
like
I
a
don't
long
know.
shot. Kleber Mendonça Filho for Secret Agent. You know, it's kind of like any film I think could get nominated for international. I'll have like the director in there somewhere.
Original screenplay, we put Sinners at number 1. It makes sense for them to go for something just very conceptually
Audacious.
Yeah, something that messes with genre a lot, and also, of course, Ryan Coogler, the face of this movie. If they're giving it Best Picture, they're gonna shower him, I think. I feel like there's been enough years where they just did not spread the love between director and picture, where I don't have to like argue why they wouldn't just go all in on Ryan Coogler here.
No, I mean, if Sinners was going to win Best Picture, it would win this category, even though Sentimental Value has a great case and a great screenplay. Like, it's kind of like how Banshees of Inisherin had such a well-polished screenplay. I would even say it was like more clean and precise and maybe professional than Everything Ever All at Once's screenplay. But we know what won, and it was because it had the wave of passion on its side. So that's kind of how the Oscars have been working in recent years. Although Sentimental Value really could win this category, I would just have to have it above it Sinners in Picture. Like, that's kind of just how I'm thinking about it.
I mean, Jay Kelly could even be in contention. Like, you think Netflix isn't going to say, okay, Baumbach got nominated for Barbie, got nominated for Squid and the Whale, nominated for Marriage Story and Picture. Now here's Jay Kelly, like, this man's Oscar
Very,
list.
very strong.
And writing is, like, the category that Baumbach's looking to win here.
I mean, look, if any of these, if that film wasn't adapted, it would be number 1. If Sentimental Value wasn't adapted, it'd be number 1. And I wouldn't even be questioning what else could win in adapted. But this category is just very tight. We have a lot of high-ranking Best Picture films here. I have Rental Family. Rental Family has a low nomination ceiling. And so one of the nominations it really needs to get is screenplay. And I think it's the kind of film that could happen very easily, like American Fiction, where
unless it was like The Help, which didn't get a screenplay nomination, just got acting and picture. Be weird.
That would be really strange.
Hasn't it? I can't think of an example since.
I think it's more like an American Fiction with the People's Choice Award and everything, and
well,
it seems like it will have a charming and fun and funny script.
Yeah. No, I have it in.
And then there's like this is where it's very, very challenging here. Like, I want to have It Was Just an Accident because it makes a lot of sense that would get a screenplay nomination. I mean, at Cannes, I was thinking maybe it'd even win the screenplay award if it didn't win the Palm, because the screenplay is a standout. There's a lot of monologues. It ties in a lot of like the director's personal politics and experiences, and it weaves a really interesting moral dilemma, and it has a lot of different characters reckoning with it in different ways. Like, I think it's a very sharp script. It would just make a lot of sense. It's almost like you could almost make this film into a play. I almost can't imagine it not getting nominated. Obviously, if it wasn't in Best Picture, sure. But I have it in, and I really want to remove something to make room for it, but nothing that makes sense to move. Yeah. Because Marty Supreme, which I have at number 5 right now, that also just makes a ton of sense for screenplay if it is the top 5 contender that we think it is. And if it's getting 10 nominations, right? Like, how could that thing miss?
I mean, it might just get like 8 nominations or 7.
But something's going to miss screenplay that doesn't make sense. Because even having It Was Just an Accident out doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know.
If everything goes to plan with that movie, if it gets director picture, I could just see it as, if I'm like, this is the night before the Oscars nominations, I could just see myself being like, fuck it, I'm going to put It Was Just an Accident, and I have a hunch it's going to drop into the 5, and it's going to take out something really weird. And I would have to drop something. Yeah, I think it's going to be like Zone of Interest triumphing over Killers of the Flower Moon.
I mean, this top 5 in original is actually our top 5 in picture right now, man.
Exactly. That's why it's impossible. I mean, you could tell the Marty Supreme script is outstanding as well, because in the trailer there are some really memorable lines and exchanges.
There's no reason that shouldn't be getting nominated for screenplay.
Right.
I'll tell you that.
Right.
Unless maybe they're just more excited to nominate him in director, kind of like maybe Aronofsky for Black Swan, who actually missed for Mike Leigh, who wasn't even nominated as film and picture. Maybe that was because we were looking at that movie as a directing contender. You could probably say the same about Killers of the Flower Moon. Like, Scorsese's nomination is in picture here. So maybe Marty Supreme misses for this reason. I guess that's possible. Whereas Rental Family, like, definitely not a directing contender, but if it's in picture, it's going to have to get, like, screenplay probably.
Yeah.
So I get that.
I see Rental Family as being very not negotiable if it's in Best Picture for screenplay. Maybe I will, just for the sake of doing it, swap Marty Supreme and It Was Just an Accident. And then I could just see it coming up and being like, holy shit, it got screenplay. It's going to get director and picture now. Great.
Actually, I agree with you. I'm putting it in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you think number 7 is? Because I actually wonder if I should have Anemone up there. I don't think Anemone is going to get that close to best. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it could. Honestly, it looks kind of good.
Yeah.
And Daniel Day-Lewis is get a writing credit. I don't know if they're going to be like, oh, we got to nominate DDL and his boy.
Well, look, it can't get nominated this year. I'm sorry. There's no way. Even if it's like number 6, it's just
right.
You know.
That's the thing. It's like you could just end this
Only
list
because of this category. If it was adapted, we could be having a debate about that.
We
But
can
it's
almost
not.
end this list at number 6, right?
We have to imagine that Jay Kelly, Rental Family, and Marty Supreme are all like bad movies for a second to continue with this category. I feel like Weapons actually does have a shot at screenplay, and I would be taking it a lot more seriously again if we didn't have all these like best picture movies in here.
I don't think Weapons is going to get a screenplay now.
I don't think it's going to get one.
I understand the case.
But I could see how, you know, if it was an adapted, we would be considering that.
Yeah, I still think it would get snubbed. Sorry Baby is a screenplay contender that I really would have loved to see some room for it. It would have been a wonderful way to nominate the movie if you're not going to do picture, but it really just is not happening, is it?
I think you really have to consider A House of Dynamite for screenplay.
You can, yeah,
because that could have a very standout.
Oh,
script
I'm actually going to put that at number 7.
Yes, even if it's not in Best Picture, it could be very, very appealing.
What about Is This Thing On?
I think that could make sense for script. Yeah,
all right.
I take it seriously. I have that in the top 10.
So adapted screenplay. We got one battle after another at number 1, and it really doesn't make that much sense because it's so low on our picture, but like, I really just don't see the case for anything else winning.
Hamnet.
Huh!
That's it.
What?
If one battle was like a total, if it tanked, I think Hamnet would win.
I'm sorry because...
You agree with me. You have it at number 2.
Look.
You agree. We can shake hands. I have one battle at
Nobody
number 1.
wants to give Chloe Zhao another Oscar.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. They're just not
I also
into
have
that.
one battle at number 1. But if that movie tanked, then what are you going to do?
Look,
you have to consider the plan B. You can't just plow ahead and say plan A.
I don't think one battle is
work.
going to be so weak that it completely tanks.
No, it's going to get nominated here no matter what.
I know. That's the one nomination it's going to get. And even if it wasn't in picture, I would consider the possibility of a winning screenplay anyway. Because, and that sounds fucking crazy, but it's because we don't need to give Hamnet screenplay. We don't need to give Deliver Me From Nowhere screenplay.
Hey. Well, we have to say, if Begonia is in Best Picture and one battle is not, Begonia is it.
Yeah, I agree with
Begonia
that.
makes sense for screenplay. It could get nominated without Best Picture.
PTA, though. PTA, if he's in the category and he's in picture, and it looks kind of like we expect it, where everything else just isn't like, there's like no top 5 contenders here, this could be his Oscar moment, even though it feels kind of weak. Like he didn't have to do that much
Oscar
to get it.
moment
Like
for one of his mid-tier films, maybe.
Well, and there's so it's because there's so many movies in original. It's purely that it's Paul Thomas Anderson, and he's one of the most he's our most overdue filmmaker.
Well, he still lost to Kenneth Branagh for Belfast.
Well, and now he's going to be even more our most overdue filmmaker, because Licorice Pizza would not have gotten in a 5 for picture.
No,
just so you know, and Belfast would have. So, I mean, I guess one battle wouldn't get into picture in 5 slots probably, but I don't know.
It's a little different. No, what you're saying is correct because it's not competing against another top 5 film.
Brenna also had like 11 nominations without a win.
It's funny because I have Marty Supreme at number 6, but if it was in this category, I'd have it at number 1.
Wake Up Dead Man, I have it number 5 because of the last 2 movies. I don't need to explain too much there. Ballad of a Small Player, I had that in before I put Hamnet in, and that does feel like a definite option if there is room. No Other Choice.
That could be
sick.
sick.
See that. I have that next up.
That would be a sick nomination. Maybe it could get like a Worst Person in the World screenplay nomination.
Maybe.
Because his scripts are very fast-paced and witty. Man, every time I bring up No Other Choice, I have this feeling like this could be something, and we're just sleeping on it, and we're just waiting for it to arise. It's like it's a phoenix rising from the ashes, except it's not dead, so I don't know why that makes sense. It's a sleeper. It could be the sleeper Oscar movie of the year.
Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I think we got carried away with this one last
No, we didn't.
time. Ha! We did.
Ha!
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yep. I'm moving it under Frankenstein.
Well, look, we got a little carried away. But I do think it could be a contender.
It's related to a show that less than 1% of them have seen.
Okay. I mean, Borat was also based on a series or something.
It really became a life of its own.
Was Borat based on a series?
Was Borat called Borat the show, the movie? I'm just curious. I think that you have this in because you're like a younger person. Frankenstein, I think that would definitely make sense. I mean, it's got adapted all over it.
This is Wicked.
Yeah, there's kind of Wicked.
The fact that the first one didn't get nominated and I actually was predicting it makes me think like there's no chance for the second.
There's no chance for the second.
And then we got Life of Chuck, which
we don't really have.
Could
Life
that
of
resurrect with a screenplay nomination because it's so weak this year?
Probably not.
I still don't think so. Like, who is watching it? Who's going to be talking about Life of Chuck? It's in the dust. It's nowhere to be seen whatsoever. And it's not coming back. Did we even mention Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere?
I mentioned it briefly. It's,
Yeah,
it's a thing
it's
you
in there.
You can gloss over it.
It's in there because it is. I had a dream about Springsteen. And I had a dream that the movie was very well received. And that I was watching it and I was kind of in the movie at the same time. But it was like, it was going well. The reception was very good.
Late Fame, Train Dreams, Die My Love, but that's the bottom of my list. Nothing to say about that.
I have a way that you can support the Award Expert app by signing up to become a pro member. You can create your own custom lists, custom categories, customize the number of slots, do Oscars your way, or unleash your creativity and make any kind of list with any number of categories you want. I'll be making a list of the best films I saw at TIFF and the best performances I saw at TIFF, for example. There's a feature where you can see the overall tally, how many nominations you're predicting for each film at the top of your list, and get a little bit extra insight into your own predictions. Then there's color themes, and I let you predict the Oscars up to 2 years in advance. So you can predict next year, next year, and the one after that already. And I will try to release another major feature before the end of the year on the pro tier as well. And a big thank you to everybody who is supporting that, because you're helping this operation, which does cost hundreds of dollars a month to keep going.
You want to go to animated feature? So, look, guys, fellas, I have K-pop Demon Hunters winning this category.
Yeah.
And y'all know, I was a skeptic when we did the last predictions video, because I said this seems kind of niche. It's just very much like a streaming play right now. But it has since become a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
There's no other way to say it. They put it back in theaters, and then it made like over $15 million.
Yeah.
After being released for like 2 months.
I know it's
nuts.
like a Gen Z thing, but it's such a phenomenon that even the trades are reporting on the movie's success, and it forced it onto the radar. It's one of the most successful Netflix films of all time on their streaming platform. It made too much noise to be ignored, and even critics like it. So
all the Academy voters' children have that movie on loop in the background.
Yeah, that's true.
And listen, Sony Pictures Animation is killing it. It's not just like a random movie, like it's the next big hit from Sony Pictures Animation. And the animation is great. And the story is good. I watched it, actually. It wasn't my favorite movie of the year, but it was good. And the song is like easily a contender. Huge #1 hit, and you know, the vocals are absolutely soaring. Just like a big high production pop song. I mean, I think that's going to get nominated for song. And so it might be the only animated contender with 2 nominations.
I think you can't really make an argument for any other film here except for Zootopia 2, because Zootopia #1 did over $1 billion at the box office. So guess what? If you crunch the numbers, Zootopia 2 is actually guaranteed to make another $1 billion.
All you have to do is say it's Inside Out 2.
Inside Out 2, Moana 2, like you can make any comparison to an animated sequel where the first one made $1 billion. Frozen 2, it's going to make $1 billion.
And that's where I say, who cares? They will snub you if they don't think the movie's that good.
They're not going to snub this one. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Actually, no, you're fair enough. If Frozen 2, Moana 2,
if it's mid, if it's mid, they'll snub it.
Yeah,
not gonna be a problem.
I don't think it's gonna be mid.
I think it might be like Inside Out 2, but actually not as good as Inside Out 2. And it's just not gonna live up to the first one. Toy Story remains the only sequels to even win this category right now. Spider-Verse couldn't do it. They often like going with a new thing, and K-pop Demon Hunters is the fresh thing this year. That's the animated phenomenon. Like, it makes sense that it has this crown on its head.
Unless,
like, you're looking for a front runner. There's one movie that's causing an absolute storm.
Yeah,
okay?
An avalanche. Unless Flow won last year.
Yeah, I know.
Boy and the Heron won the other year.
Yeah, I know.
Arco has a 3.9 on Letterboxd.
Okay.
Little Amelie has a 4.1. They kind of look like they have similar scores. Like, I don't really know why one's out in front of the other right now.
I don't think people like either.
Maybe one of those will become a sensation when it hits streaming, and everyone will love it. It will be like a year best film, whatever it is. Right now, it's too speculative to say like one of them is going to be Flow. Also, Flow didn't have any words in it. So it's not a foreign language film, even though it's an international film.
It doesn't have the 1-inch barrier.
What else? I mean, Arco, Little Amelie, I have both of those in. What do you think?
I have both of them in too.
Little
Amelie
is G Kids. Arco is Neon. So those
Little
are really
Amelie
good
I'm
studios.
less confident about.
Yeah.
Neon with Arco, I think, is pretty secure. I think they know what they have.
The trailer dropped, and I missed it at Cannes, but it looks really good.
Yeah,
It looks very beautiful.
I think that one's going to be not hard.
Yeah. And I heard it's like kind of an agreeable film. Like, it's an easy watch. What do you think about Elio? Because I still have it in, but I could be persuaded to take it out.
Elio
failed.
Did not make money at the box office.
Is Elio Pixar's biggest failure ever?
Yeah, Elio's like their biggest failure box office wise. And the reviews were good, but they weren't like, I mean, Finding Dory did not get nominated for the Oscar. That had over a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes, but it was kind of mid. Elio is just kind of seen as mid. Elio is a flop, and critics thought it was good, not great, and like that tends to get snubbed. And I understand this year is a little on the weaker side, especially in terms of like big American animated films. We only have 2 in here. I mean, actually, I have 3 in here, but I don't have Elio. I think that just seems like it won't have steam, it won't have momentum.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. So what else?
I mean, Netflix has a couple more films that they can go in on. Of course, they have K-pop Demon Hunters. Also, the fact that that's Netflix, we didn't even mention that. That's like, there you go. But In Your Dreams, like, it seems like maybe there's something there. It could be like the Over the Moon of this year. They also have the Twits. The animation for the Twits looks kind of stylish. Like the character design looks pretty cool. It's got some big voice actors in it.
You have Scarlett from Sony.
Mamoru Hosoda.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
This is going to 3 of the festivals this season.
It's hitting the fall festivals like no other animated film this year is. I'm skeptical because it has that like anime style that they never seem to go for. Even with Suzumi, even with Your Name, like they seem allergic to that, and this one is even more of like seemingly like an action film.
They will only give
Whereas those films were just kind of like dramas with some sci-fi romance elements. Like, I don't know. This seems like it's almost like action figure-y.
The director got a movie in called Mirai, and that was just like, it was about like children playing around. Like this is very different anime style. Very like hardcore anime action style.
But
and
I feel like it'll get a really good
could
letterbox
happen.
because
The fact that it has a major fall presence is why I'm really close to putting it in, because it's like the one huge animated movie that's playing all these festivals that I think will get a good amount of buzz. I mean, if it gets a 4 on Letterboxd, I'll probably put it in. The director made Belle. That didn't get in. That was like very aggressively anime. I remain skeptical, guys. Like I know a lot of people have this winning or whatever, but I'm going to have it at number 6 for now and say that like, I don't know. I guess In Your Dreams gets in.
I mean, 3 international animated films is a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
You're justified in not having it in and putting it in Your Dreams, like just being a little safer.
So Neja 2, another international film that people are kind of like they're like, why don't you have Neja in? I mean, look, folks.
Hey, I had it in when A24 picked it up, and then when they bombed at the box office, I took it out again.
I still didn't really have it in. I was like, I mean, we'll freaking see. Like, I mean, maybe I dipped it in at one point, but
like, why would they even put money behind that campaign? Do you think about it?
Do you know
why would they even put money?
Do you know the extent of the bomb? Do you know how bad it was?
Like really, really bad.
They put it in a very wide release, over 2,000 screens, and it made $1.5 million for a per theater average of $700. Abysmal. And what does it show? People in the US did not know what that movie was when it came out the first time, and when it re-released, they went, I still don't know what that is. It didn't matter that they did an English dub. Like that didn't suddenly make everybody want to see it.
One of the highest grossing films of all time because of the Chinese box office.
Yeah. Most Chinese films that have made like $1 billion USD or close to it, Americans cannot name.
Why would they think it's a good investment to do an awards campaign for a film that no one's seen already? Like, it actually doesn't make sense. I think they're going to drop the whole thing.
Yep.
What other choice do they have?
Right.
If I were A24, I wouldn't like try to get that film in front of people's faces like when no one's biting and no one even knows what it is.
The Bad Guys 2. I heard this was maybe good, but the first one didn't get in. I put on Boys Go to Jupiter, which did come out. I think it's a little niche. The animation style feels like something you'd see it in a animated short nominee, not really a feature.
I think it looks good, and I've heard really good things.
A Magnificent Life. If you still have this in, you haven't changed from Cannes. You haven't responded.
You just haven't updated them. It's okay, everyone forgets to update their predictions sometimes.
Did not get the reception.
No, that movie got pretty negative response, pretty mid. Animal Farm from Andy Serkis.
No, Animal Farm's over.
That it's just over.
It's not even going to come out this year, is it? Documentary feature, The Perfect Neighbor, really seems like it's just geared to come for the Oscar, and we'll see if anything can stop it.
I mean, look, there is a problem, though, with the film that gets hyped up from Sundance as, like, hey, this is going to win the Oscar, and it doesn't happen or doesn't get nominated. Like, even though Sundance absolutely puts out multiple documentary feature nominations a year, the buzz doesn't always translate to Oscar. Well, and the best example of that was Beyond Utopia, which we thought was going to win. It made sense, and it just didn't.
Netflix has this, though, so it's a little different.
I think this will be nominated. I have no reason to doubt it. I just don't want to like make it seem that it's the runaway frontrunner and it's going to stay that way. People should be open to changes that could happen in this race. 2,000
meters to Andrivka. I'm sensing a active killing look of silence situation here where they both get nominated.
It's a sequel to 20 Days in Mariupol, which obviously won the Oscar. I hope people still care about Ukraine.
I mean, maybe I could see a world where maybe people are like, okay, I already watched that one. Like, it was pretty rough. I don't know if I'm going to sit through the next one.
I feel like it's not going to win again. That's all I could say about it. I think it'll probably still get nominated.
The Alabama Solution is another Sundance one. And guys, usually there's around 3 Sundance nominees in the category. So this is the third that I have. Yeah. And it's HBO. It was very acclaimed, and it's about the prison system in Alabama, apparently from the perspective of the incarcerated inmates. And it just seems like one that's going to be in the conversation. That's all I can say right now. It has like really good Letterboxd. Really seems powerful. Apocalypse in the Tropics is another Netflix film. They actually have a couple that I'm considering. And this one, I didn't really know about it till recently. It actually premiered at Venice last year. But it's about the influence of evangelical Christianity and far-right politics in Brazil. Good Letterboxd, might be a solid push for the studio. You can tell me whether or not this makes more sense to you than other movies. Well, a lot of pundits are putting this in. There's also Put Your Hand on Your Soul and Walk.
Who's distributing this one?
Nobody, obviously, because it's about Gaza.
It's about an Iranian filmmaker who is doing video calls with a young Palestinian photojournalist who describes her life in Gaza during the current regional conflict. And look, people care a lot about Gaza right now. Like, it is kind of the perfect subject to make it into the Oscars documentary feature, like No Other Land won last year. Even though this subject has a lot of controversy, it also has a lot of passion. And even now more than ever, people are more sympathetic to Palestinians when there's polling done for the American public about this matter. So if this film becomes like the it film about Gaza this year, then it's in.
So here's another one that was announced for some festivals. The Eyes of Ghana, directed by Ben Proudfoot. If you don't know who that is, he won 2 Oscars in the last 4 years and was nominated 3 times in the documentary short category. So he's just like gunning out these documentaries that are appealing to the branch. And by the way, yes, I've confirmed this. The people who vote for the shorts are the people who vote for the features, the documentary branch. So they've got their eyes on this guy. Netflix picked up this documentary. It's about a Ghanaian filmmaker, so it's kind of about filmmaking. And there you go. I was kind of wondering, when's this guy going to make a break for the documentary feature Oscar? And here it is. He's obviously going for the nomination. Oh, and the Obamas are producing it. The Obamas did Descendant, American Symphony, Crip Camp, American Factory. That's their track record. It's pretty damn good. And, even if the movies don't get nominated, they get very close.
What about Cover Up?
Yeah, Laura Poitras. I mean, you can't overlook that one. She did Citizen 4, which won the Oscar, and All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. This is a big deal in the documentary world. It's going to go to Venice and other festivals. Yeah, that one, I mean, you could put that in the 5 too, and it would be very justified. There's Seeds from Sundance, which got a lot of buzz, very good reviews.
Yeah, Seeds I had in for a while, and I mean, that one seems really great. There's Mr. Nobody Against Putin. This one's about a Russian teacher who is speaking out against the war in Ukraine and also documenting the transformation of his town into a recruitment center for the war. So that's also super topical, super current. Damn, that's a good one to have in, honestly. Maybe if I were just to go off of topic alone, I would have that in the top 5.
Yeah.
And it's a Sundance film, so that's actually 4 Sundance films in.
Cutting Through Rocks is another Sundance one that I've got on my radar. Yeah. Come and See Me in the Good Light. Andre is an Idiot. The Last Republicans. The Librarians. A lot of Sundance ones. Oh,
Does the Werner Herzog film Ghost Elephants? I mean,
I don't think so.
he doesn't always get in. It's not like he's a staple of the category, but it's one to look out for.
International sentimental value is going to win the category.
Yeah.
It's over. No Other Choice is going to get... well, of course, that's not guaranteed. Decision to Leave wasn't nominated, so depends on how good this one is. I mean, with Neon behind it, I mean, they're behind like this entire category, right? So I guess it's possible they have too many contenders. It's a little overcrowded. Something could slip. But No Other Choice, I think it's going to be a big deal. And as long as it's really acclaimed, I hope that it gets nominated.
Look, Decision to Leave missing does not have to mean every Park Chan-wook film misses from now into the future. Like, it just doesn't. We don't have to think that way. It was weird that it didn't get nominated, but there could just be a better campaign for
Yeah, but
this.
you have to be optimistic that it will be better than Decision to Leave.
No, I don't even have to do that. I could just think that it's more visible. It could just be a more visible film and get a better campaign.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it was Mubi. That one was Mubi. This is Neon.
The Secret Agent feels like it's just happening. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe there's a world where it doesn't make it in, but I think that's just going to happen, right?
I do feel like The Secret Agent is potentially the most accessible Cleaver Mendoza Filho film, and it has the largest scale, and it's most familiar, like, aesthetically to films that an American audience cares about, like the historical drama. But I wouldn't consider this like a guarantee. I do have it in the top 5, but I have The President's Cake at number 3.
No.
Why?
3, what the hell?
Huh, The President's Cake.
Not even in competition at Cannes.
The President's Cake is a 3.9 on Letterboxd.
Why do you have that over... I don't even have it in.
I heard some people who thought this is like a slam dunk for this category.
Okay, I have it at number 6.
The subject matter was really solid. I mean, who's distributing it, actually?
It's Sony Pictures Classics. That's actually good. It's because it's about a 9-year-old, so people are like,
Yeah.
oh, the Oscars love like movies about like children.
No, it's not just about that. I'm actually going to see this tomorrow, so I can report on this maybe in Letterboxd, but it's about a schoolboy who is chosen to bake a cake for the president, who is Saddam Hussein. So it's like a period film, and it's about growing up in Iraq during the Saddam Hussein dictatorship. So
I'll put it in the 5.
And, you know, people really like it. It's a very agreeable film. If you look at Letterboxd, nobody really thinks it's bad. And I've heard it's, like, pretty crowd accessible. That's why Sony Pictures Classics has it.
That's fine.
Now, I've actually just seen The President's Cake. And it's a very good film. And I don't think this would have a problem resonating with Oscar voters or a general audience. But I don't see it as, like, a slam dunk nominee. Maybe it could become that. I can't deny that Nouvelle Vague is just a nice, tasty offering, and I have to kind of keep that in my international 5 above The President's Cake at the moment. But I feel like the President's Cake is definitely worth looking out for. Nouvelle Vague is Netflix, and if France chooses that, that actually is very appealing as well.
You didn't mention Surat. Surat's
Oh,
gonna get
Surat.
it.
I have Surat in. I have it at number 2, actually.
A lot
which
of
is
people
crazy.
don't have Surat in.
Well, maybe it doesn't get in. I feel like it could be like Decision to Leave, where it misses randomly.
But Surat is like actually going to be maybe top 5 critic aggregate movie of the year.
Probably not top 5.
It might be.
Probably top 15. Look at the Letterboxd right now. It actually has a lot of mixed reactions.
Wait, where'd that come from? Did it go to Melbourne?
I don't know. It got a really good reception at Cannes, but a lot of people are on Letterboxd are starting to not really like it.
Oh, I didn't see this.
It's not an agreeable film. Like it's not for everybody.
All right, I got you.
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, it could miss. I have it in. I think it's a strong film that inspired a lot. You know, a lot of people thought it was the best film they saw at Cannes. But it's a fucking weird movie. It's also not feel good.
All right,
It kind of sucks. That made me feel like shit. Fuck.
Every year there's like a couple international films that critics love that just don't make it into like the international conversation at the Oscars.
It's also an artsy film.
What about the voice of In Rajab? I almost had that in, but then I went, it hasn't premiered, so I guess that makes it less likely than like President's Cake. But
that could rock it in there. It just needs to get a distributor. It needs to come out this year. It doesn't have a distributor right now, so.
That's true. It doesn't have a distributor. Actually, it's not going to have a distributor is the problem.
Right, because it's Palestinian.
Yeah. All right, I won't have it in because no distributors are taking on anything that's about Palestine. But the director, she got a movie in documentary, she got a movie in international, and it's going to Venice and TIFF.
Yeah, why don't we have it? It was just an accident because I believe France would have to submit that.
France is not going to submit it probably,
Right,
but
France
Luxembourg could. Luxembourg, though, they've never gotten in, and like they don't submit anything I've ever heard of, so I feel like they're also not going to do it, and obviously Iran's not doing it, so It's probably not getting nominated, but I have it on the list just in case it gets submitted by another country.
Of course. I mean, if it gets submitted, it's in. It's
Yeah,
like
right. Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, and then you have to decide whether you think it could upset like I'm Still Here.
That's not going to happen because Emilia Perez had a very weird thing happen to it.
That's correct. You're right. Nouvelle Vague could be the French film. It's Richard Linklater. Like, you couldn't really get more audience friendly.
It's about filmmaking too.
Yeah. It's about Breathless. So that's like obviously very possible, but it's not the film that inspired like the most passion at Cannes. I mean, everyone thought it was good. It was very agreeable, but it makes total sense to get in. Like, that thing could beat Seurat. It could beat The Secret Agent, right? Maybe I should have it in.
What about Sound of Falling?
Sound of Falling is kind of an experimental film. Like, it doesn't really have a narrative. It does not. So, like, it could get in for being artistically fucking amazing. Like, just the aesthetics and the tone and the atmosphere it creates is amazing. But it is a strange film, and it could be really difficult to sit through if you're at home. I did not find it difficult to sit through in the theater, but I could totally see it feeling like a laborious task to get through for some voters. So I'm going to keep that on the edge, but like, you know, EO got in, right? So like, it could still make it in. It would just be a little more unexpected.
Yeah,
La Grazia.
Yeah, that could be Italy's submission.
Yeah.
He's been nominated
That probably will be Italy's submission. What else would happen?
You're right. That is a good bet.
No, that's high up. That's high up. That's definitely top 10.
There is a movie called Late Shift that has some hype here, and it's kind of like The Teacher's Lounge in that it has the same lead actress and it is very acclaimed. It has already been Switzerland's submission to the Academy Awards, but I think some other movies have just had more buzz, but I definitely have it on the list. Left-Handed Girl may get submitted by Taiwan. That has Sean Baker behind it, so that could be one to look out for a bit. There's Orphan from Hungary. We'll see how that goes at Venice.
Yeah.
Palestine submitted Palestine 36. That is a TIFF premiere, which means it won't be nominated.
All that's left to view is gone.
That's gone, yeah. Let's go to casting. So, really fun category. We don't know how this is going to look.
I think there'll be a lot of research and speculation into, does this category function like an inside club where people are voting for their friends or people they've worked with? Like, that happens in a lot of the craft categories. I mean, namely in like song and cinematography.
You can go to costumes. You can go to pretty much any category, and you can find that it does matter if somebody is well respected, well known in the industry.
It's not clear whether that, like, how much of an influence that will have, but I think it matters.
I mean, obviously, every year in most categories, you get people who are first time nominees, and they just have the right movies. So it obviously doesn't disqualify you. But I have looked into the casting directors of some of the top contenders here, just to see if we can maybe just add a little extra insight. And, these are names that we're probably going to hear over the years as well and get familiar with some of the big heavy hitters in this category. I think a lot of people expect that this category will work like SAG Ensemble, and I don't know how true that will be. They could be 3 out of 5 with SAG. They could go 5 out of 5. Who knows? So I do think Sinners is like absolutely locked.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that about any other movies because I don't know how they think. I don't know what they care about, but Sinners is locked. Any way that you look at how this category could be judged, this is the front runner. It has an amazing ensemble. It has a ton of great supporting performances, a diverse cast. And who's the casting director? Well, let me name some of Francine Maisler's credits. Deliver Me From Nowhere is actually another one. We have Dune, Dune 2, Don't Look Up, Chicago 7, Little Women, Marriage Story, Vice, Arrival, The Revenant, Big Short, Birdman, 12 Years a Slave, Captain Phillips, Moneyball, The Tree of Life, on and on and on. Those are all Best Picture nominees. She would probably be one of the most nominated people in this category if we had it for the past 30 years. And it's going to make her a fitting winner, isn't it? And she may even be a double nominee because of Deliver Me From Nowhere, which I also think makes a lot of sense for casting. And you look at how the BAFTAs think about this category, clearly they like when you have biopics. Then I have Jay Kelly in. Now, a lot of people don't have this in because they said, well, Marriage Story didn't really contend that hard as an ensemble contender. And I get it.
I mean, even if this doesn't get SAG Ensemble, voters might not think of this in the same way as SAG thinks about Ensemble. First of all, the casting department is voting. They know what this job entails. So I think inherently it's already going to be thought about differently. I think it's going to matter how big the cast is. And Jay Kelly has a massive cast.
Massive. In the trailer, they go boom, 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 and they have a second page that goes boom, boom, boom.
I feel like there's like two elements to casting in general. Like one is how many fucking people did you have to cast? Like how much of it difficulty was it to put this film together? And then the other thing is if this is like a Bruce Springsteen or if this is Joaquin Phoenix in The Joker or Chalamet as Bob Dylan, like how good did you do like casting the right person for that role? So I feel like those two elements are what's going to be important. So there's like, do you have the ensemble? Then there's, do you have like that lead? So Jay Kelly fits very well into the ensemble category, I believe. You know, maybe Baumbach had George Clooney and Adam Sandler in mind for the roles the entire time. And George Clooney feels so obvious for the role, like it was written for him. Like maybe they'll think that doesn't really count.
You know, I'm interested in seeing how they're going to craft narratives each year. And in Netflix, when they got their number one horse, and as long as Jay Kelly is their number one horse, they go hard and they make sure that every craft branch understands. Like they actually tend to get over-nominated a lot with their number one contenders. And it happened last year with Emilia Perez. 13 nominations. Power of the Dog got a surprise 12. And so I think that's where Jay Kelly can succeed. And you know, you have two casting directors. Nina Gold did Conclave, Power of the Dog, 1917, Two Popes, Theory of Everything. Douglas Abel did Manchester by the Sea, Wes Anderson's films, a lot of Noah Baumbach's films. So that's definitely a box you can check too.
Yeah. And people also might look at Adam Sandler here and be like, oh, that's Adam Sandler's best role yet. Great casting.
Then there's Wicked for Good. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Some are saying, well, didn't they do the casting for the first film? So why would we honor them for the second film? And the weird scenario here that will never ever happen again is that they didn't get a chance to nominate them for the first film.
Right.
And therefore they might be saying, well, we're going to nominate you for your work in both films.
Right.
That like makes sense to me. I don't really see how a casting director would like reject that narrative and be like, well, fuck that. Like, I actually don't really agree with that.
Right.
Like, they also shot the movies at the same time, didn't they?
They didn't have, well, like you were saying, they didn't have the opportunity to nominate the first film. So this is their opportunity to nominate it.
Well, they also cast the movies together as like one shooting process.
I think they'll think about it as the same film.
I think
the only thing I'm worried about is that we already had this big freak out over how well Wicked was cast and how great Ariana and Cynthia are for the parts. Like, we already did that, so I wonder if it'll just be a little less fresh.
I mean, we all know that Wicked would have undeniably been nominated.
Yes, it would have undeniably been nominated last year. Again, for me, the argument is, are we like a little bit over it? Like, Dune 2 was great, but like people were just over it for no good reason.
And if you want to know about the casting directors, they work in a duo often, and they are known for casting musicals like In the Heights, The New Color Purple, The New Little Mermaid, Mary Poppins Returns. Like, they're very much on brand here. But they haven't done any Best Picture films from what I've seen. Sentimental Value, that may have 4 acting nominations, okay? And beyond that, there's like Anders Danielson Lee. I don't know how many other people there are, but maybe all that matters is like these central players. So there's 2 casting directors. One of them is Norwegian. They did Worst Person in the World, as you might expect, and no Best Picture nominees. The other is actually Amy Kaufman, who did Tar, King Richard, Lincoln, Life of Pi, Brokeback Mountain, Capote. So they had an American casting director who probably worked to get like Elle Fanning.
I think the casting of like doing the Norwegian actors and then like going overseas and like picking American talent is actually a really good narrative. And Elle Fanning is really well cast here because she kind of sticks out in like an uncomfortable way, being like an American in this film. And it works really well for like what it's going for. You know, I think the casting is brilliant. And Stellan Skarsgård here is like, has never been better in a film. So that makes sense. And I could see that happening, but so I feel like that's pretty solid.
Yeah, especially now knowing that one of them actually is from Hollywood. That actually, I think that helps me. And then, you know, very similarly, Rental Family has casting directors who worked to cast Japanese talent from over in Japan. They actually have not cast any Best Picture nominees, but one of them has worked on Shogun and Scorsese's Silence, so kind of working with Hollywood. The other casting director is a little newer, it seems, a little fresher. But I think what's compelling here, you know, there is a kid in the movie. And the BAFTA casting category seems to indicate that they like when you're casting children, because that is like, okay, you didn't know who these people were. Like, you cast a role fresh. You had to do a casting call. You had to do the audition process. I mean, maybe the kid's okay in the movie and they don't really care, right? But, you know, newcomer roles could be something to look out for. You know, maybe Sinners with Miles Caton could be, they could play into that.
That's great.
Or
That is a great narrative for Sinners to win too.
maybe in sentimental value, they can go talk about how they did a casting call for Inga Iv's daughter Lilius.
We'll see what kind of narratives they try to use to appeal to awards voters. I'm sure we'll see the trades publishing articles about the casting directors because they're trying to capture that kind of attention and spin those narratives. So it'll be really interesting to see and read those pieces. Marty Supreme I had in here thinking like, oh, that seems like a slam dunk because the Safdie brothers are known for their kind of unconventional casting choices, like rebranding actors. Like Robert Pattinson at the time of Good Time was not known as like an indie film actor yet. And they cast Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. Like
Julia Fox in Uncut Gems was very unusual.
Kevin Garnett in Uncut Gems, like he was great in that film. Their history of casting is absolutely insane. And Marty Supreme in many ways is not an exception. Like,
oh, not at all.
Timothée Chalamet, who could win the Oscar for this, is like an insanely good example of casting potentially. And they have like Gwyneth Paltrow, who people haven't seen in movies in a while. You have Tyler the Creator, who people have never seen here. Kevin O'Leary, who people have never seen here. Oh, Kevin O'Leary, people have never... Oh, that's actually like the part that makes me think maybe this is not gonna work, is because people might think I hated Kevin O'Leary in that. Fuck that guy. I'm not even kidding.
Maybe.
This alone made me think, ooh, maybe I'm going to move that down.
I mean, you also have Fran Drescher.
No, there's like it's
Odessa A'zion, newer actress, fresher face. There's that.
But it could work very well. And the only thing is where I'm like, will people actually get mad that Kevin O'Leary's in it and then be like, that was stupid? I don't know why they did that.
Well, here's something else that's kind of against it. The casting director, Jennifer Venditti, really mostly has just done Safdie stuff. She has done American Honey, Come On, Come On, and is also doing Begonia. She's also doing Begonia. But
nice.
Most of her credits are like The Curse and things that the Safdies are involved in.
Yeah.
So she's not like as much of a veteran director who would have gotten nominated before. But maybe it doesn't matter because Marty Supreme does have some pretty bold casting choices.
Yes. Absolutely.
We're going to have no precursors for this category. It's going to be very strange.
Yeah.
Because even BAFTA's not coming first.
And there's great narratives for many of these films. Like, I could still have Marty Supreme in the 5, Rental Family. I feel almost weird not having that in.
Yeah, the top 7
I want to have
really
that in.
Want to have in.
Sentimental Value, weirdly, like, as much as I love the casting, maybe that gets snubbed. There's a lot of great performances in there, but it's not quite as sprawling. It's not quite as epic.
I kind of
Marty
have that
Supreme.
in, though, because I think it's going to be a very beloved movie.
Sure.
I mean, how could you say, though, that last year the casting 5 wouldn't have been the SAG Ensemble 5? Wicked, Emilia Perez, Honora, Complete Unknown, Conclave. Like, is there another way?
A Complete Unknown, absolutely. Conclave, absolutely. Honora, absolutely. Emilia Perez, absolutely. Wicked, absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
We understand that Honora would have won also, right? And Sean Baker would have
maybe
had 5 Oscars.
Not necessarily. We don't know. Here's where I'm like, maybe we are going to get a weird thing where Wicked doesn't feel fresh anymore. And we're just going to go with Rental Family or Marty Supreme, or maybe that will happen.
We'll see. Other contenders that I have, although I have already asserted that top 7's really where I'm leaning towards. Wake Up Dead Man, which a lot of people have in, and I'm just like, there's so many picture contenders that I think, like in every other category, they're going to prioritize the best picture contenders. All right, one battle after another: Frankenstein, Begonia, House of Dynamite, After the Hunt. Just throwing out some more names there.
There's a lot of long shots we could go over, but
sure, but we don't have
they're not really worth it. Like, it was just an accident, weirdly, a long shot.
No way.
It's not gonna happen. House of Dynamite, Nouvelle Vague. Nouvelle Vague,
no way.
Weapons, like, super long shot.
Cinematography. You gotta tell me what you have for the 5th slot. I don't know if you thought about this.
I have.
Oh, you have the same thing as I do.
We have the same. Top 4 is obvious, actually.
Top 4 is
obvious
if you have Hamnet.
Sinners, Marty Supreme, Frankenstein, and Hamnet.
You have to have Frankenstein over Marty
You have to have
Supreme.
Hamnet, too.
You have to have Frankenstein over Marty Supreme.
I do not. One of them is in Best
So-
Picture, one of them is not.
So, Marty Supreme, Darius Konji, I think it'll be nominated. Good looking movie. Would it win? No. Wouldn't win.
Frankenstein's not going to win. It's
it
not going to
could.
be in Best Picture.
What if it's a Blade Runner 2049?
Yeah, maybe.
Dan Lauston, super ambitious, big budget movie.
Maybe. Okay.
We know
whatever.
big budget movies
We
win
can
sometimes.
debate the order.
I mean, honestly,
fine.
I'm tempted to have Frankenstein at number 1 because I feel like
Jesus.
Sinners
That's
doesn't
actually
need
fair.
to win.
Sinners doesn't need to win, you're right. It's kind of weird, but look, Sinners could win based on that one shot alone. I like a lot of elements of Sinners cinematography, but I don't think it's like going to be my favorite photographed film of the year.
I think it does have problems with the shadows on the faces too. They
I
underexpose
kind of
a
agree
lot
with
of the
that.
shots.
I don't mind though that they sacrifice it for just like the overall aesthetic of
It has a
practical
really
lighting.
good
Like,
look
I'm kinda
to
cool
it. It
with
has
that.
a great look to it, and it would be the first female cinematographer to win.
Yeah.
And that's a narrative.
But
they
I do
can go
feel
with.
like some of it is more like generically shot, and then other parts are like, wow, you blew the fucking roof off with that shot. Like, that was amazing. It doesn't
Sinners-
strike me as like, that's definitely going to win.
Sinners did an IMAX thing. Did it
Yeah.
do 70 millimeter? IMAX 70 millimeter.
Well, not all of it was shot in 70 millimeter. It was like some scenes were in IMAX. It was
Fine,
like that.
fine with me. The last two winners talked about that all day. But again, Frankenstein, I just want to like, go back to like, Dan Louston, big
I got you
name,
on that.
big
That's fine.
movie.
That's
Okay.
fine. I get it. Darius Khondji's also a big name.
Yeah.
And if it was going to come down to like, oh, is it Marty Supreme or Frankenstein? You could give him a
When's
run.
the last time like a handheld like sports biopic was like winning Oscars?
You're
and
right.
shit,
You're right. You're right.
for cinematography.
Dan Louston's like a huge name too.
But then there's Hamnet. I mean, Hamnet. Again, this is where I'm like, oh, this movie's maestro. Like, it's going
Right.
to look really good, right?
It's
going
in
to
so many
have
categories.
Lucas Zoll, one of the best cinematographers working right now.
Right.
Okay.
Who got brutally snubbed for Zone of Interest. Good God.
Very
I don't know.
sad.
I don't understand that. But Lucas All, we can get him a nomination for Hamnet. It's actually very easy.
And also Chloe Zhao, like, just known for
her cinematography.
known for pretty images.
Absolutely.
You combine those two.
And if you talk about another Terrence Malick influenced cinematography, then you get Train Dreams, which has absolutely gorgeous fucking cinematography. Like, the images looked like oil paintings. It is beautiful. That movie is a tale told with images. Truly striking. I feel like that could get ASC. Although the
here's the
cinematographer is not a
problem.
huge name.
That is the problem, and the movie's not close to picture, right? So I actually
That doesn't always matter. It doesn't always matter.
it does
for cinematography.
You need one of those boxes, buddy. Usually, you need one of them.
Bardo.
I said you need one of the boxes.
Yeah,
You
you're
need to
right.
be
You're right.
a
You need
name
one of the yes.
or close to picture.
Yeah, I got you. I hear what you're saying.
When's the last time it was not one of those?
Palakowski, his cinematographer.
Okay,
For Cold War.
no, for Ida.
Oh, for Ida.
Ida even further.
But
from
even
Best
then,
Picture.
Ida was like that one international.
Ida was
film.
black and white.
It was also black and white.
And the Lighthouse,
4:3 aspect
the light. Okay,
ratio.
so there's three criteria because
Yeah,
the
it's black
Lighthouse
and
was
white.
also a new cinematographer, black and white, veteran cinematographer, close to Best Picture. Mudbound was kind of close to Best Picture. Mr. Turner was not that close to Best Picture, and Dick Pope, that was his first nom. The Grandmaster. Yeah, the Grandmaster. Okay, I mean, look, it can happen. Now,
Yeah, it could happen.
I mean, Train Dreams, it is Netflix. They have a lot on their plate, but like, they can, I mean, the reason I have this in here is because I don't know what the hell else.
Yeah,
I can give some
let's talk about
suggestions.
it.
I can give some suggestions.
Go ahead.
Jay Kelly,
Right. Linus Sangren.
Linus Sangren,
La La
looks
Land.
nice. Looks nice enough from the trailer, but it is a very low-key drama.
Yeah.
Not that flashy. Not that
I
flashy.
mean, Marriage Story didn't come even close, and I thought that had great cinematography.
This one looks more colorful because it's Linus Sangren. And it
Yeah.
is, continues to be shot on film, which
Yeah.
I think is always a plus.
I feel like it's weird, though, for this kind of film to get cinematography. I mean, even The Holdovers, which I thought had great cinematography for what it was, didn't even get close. So it's that kind of situation, right?
Do we have any black and white contenders? Well, we do have one. We do have Nouvelle Vague.
It's shot like a Richard Linklater film, except that it's black and white.
Well, Nebraska was
And
shot like an
pretty-
Alexander Payne film, except that it was black and white. But it was in Best Picture.
I think Nebraska, though, was a little, like, stunning. I mean, it had a lot of, like, really deep focus cinematography. It really created the location as a character. So I can understand that. But this was really, like, you're not even shooting in the Breathless style. You're just putting it in black and white is kind of my feeling about it. Like,
Yeah,
it
but
wasn't stunning to me.
But does it feel like an old movie?
No.
Oh. I have it on the list. You can't blame me
It can
for
be on
that.
the list. It's in black and white, but...
What about Ballad of a Small Player? I mean, the cinematography
Yeah.
from the trailer
Yeah.
looked pretty stunning.
Yeah, you're
James'
right.
Friend won for
You're
All
right.
Quiet on the Western
Number
Front.
6. It's very flashy. It's very in your face. It has an awards campaign. Even if it's not Netflix's number 1, they could try to get it like 2 or 3 nominations.
It'd be a little strange, though, if that movie got, like, cinematography and that's it, or maybe, like, just one other
it
nomination.
looks pretty stunning. The city of Macau looks stunning. The nighttime photography, the neon lighting, the Testament of Anne Lee. If that comes out this year, that was shot in 70mm. It's going to be projected in 70mm at TIFF in Venice. I could see that as being like similarly good looking to The Brutalist. I don't know if I have as much confidence in that movie's awards prospects to The Brutalist, but maybe there's a world where that could get actress and cinematography. Like, perhaps. Just from being like a 70mm
That's
spectacle.
true. I think that's a top contender as well. What about Sound of Falling for a little surprise nom? But again,
it would be like director's branch core to do that.
But it doesn't meet any of the criteria that we set out.
No.
Either.
It doesn't really make sense. It'd be like if EO got cinematography, which like didn't happen and wouldn't happen.
Begonia, not as ambitious
yeah.
visually as his other movies,
I agree.
even though it does look good. I think it would only really get in if it was like top 5. Avatar, I feel like we're done nominating these movies, but what if it gets into Best Picture and there just isn't that much competition? Maybe it can just get in off that?
I don't believe it.
All right. No other choice?
Yep, I have that in the top 10.
I feel like The Substance not getting in makes me say that it wouldn't get in even if it was in picture.
Unfortunately, that is possible.
I feel like it has that same kind of like flashiness that Substance has.
Maximalism,
Yeah.
in a way. I agree with that. And, you know, unfortunately, that you are making me skeptical. House of Dynamite, Barry Ackroyd. He did The Hurt Locker, Captain Phillips. I mean, the thing with House of Dynamite is that it seems like it's going to be a contained thriller, like contained
I think
to...
that's the problem.
So that probably wouldn't happen, even though I think it's going to be a interestingly shot film, and I like his cinematography.
What about Anemone? I mean, I think we were all surprised how good the cinematography looked in that trailer.
Who's the cinematographer?
He did the Rose Glasses films. Not that well known.
It's not big enough of a name for me to put that in.
F1.
F1?
It'd be really low. One Battle After Another also is really
I was
low.
going to say One Battle After Another is in there somewhere.
PTA is not campaigning himself for cinematography though.
He's going for a VistaVision print though, and that's going to try to have like a big theatrical, presentation.
Does it look as good as his previous movies though?
No.
From the looks of it?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I would say
don't
no.
think so. Out of maybe like Jay Kelly, Ballad of a Small Player, and Lee, did any of those make you think they're more likely than Train Dreams?
Maybe Ballad of a Small Player.
Really?
Because I think it's going to be a good film. And Lee, I think, could not do anything. It could be like a really divisive movie. And then Train Dreams, again, like we didn't really put up a good argument for it, except that it deserves it. Which, like, in a weird way, is not enough.
Well, it is some of the best.
But I do think it could get ASC. I do think Train Dreams could get ASC because
ASC, those
a cinematographer is
motherfuckers,
really. It's very much a cinematographer's
those
movie.
motherfuckers, when they snubbed Nickel Boys, I wouldn't put a thing past them.
Fair enough.
When they did that, I went, man, you guys like nominated Wicked over Nickel Boys? Like, what the fuck are you doing? It really made me think that there was something.
Wait, Wicked for Good. Do we need to put Wicked for Good
it's
in the
on my
predictions?
list, but I don't think so. All right, I just went through like frame by frame of the Ballad of a Small Player trailer, and I'm really like, wow, so many shots look stunning. You could frame all of them. I mean, of course it's a trailer, but man, I am gonna put that in. Wow.
Yeah.
I'd
put it in too because I think it's going to be on people's radars, whereas Train Dreams is more likely to fall off.
They're not gonna watch that fucking movie, are they? Even
I still think it could get an ASC nom.
No, ASC is the ones who are going to drop the ball. Critics' Choice won't do it either. Here's the thing, no one's going to do it. It's going to be like Nickel Boys. You're waiting and waiting and waiting for someone to do it, and no one's going to fucking do it.
What are critics groups going to do? They're going to probably do Train Dreams.
Yeah. I think they would help Train Dreams out. Okay, editing. Well, I have Marty Supreme at number 1.
Films don't just win editing, though.
I didn't say it would just win editing. I have it winning Best Actor.
Okay, editing and actor, that's a thing?
Whatever.
Is it a thing? Is that a combo?
Whatever.
What usually do editing winners win? I mean, obviously Best Picture, they win
Lately, Best Picture, prior Best Sound. Okay, so you want to have Sinners winning just for that reason? I'll say this, though. Sinners is getting a sound nomination. It might be a contender to win sound, and it also might win Best Picture.
Yeah. Look, Nora didn't fucking make sense to win editing. It did not make sense.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, Sinners maybe when it wins editing, maybe.
You kind of said it yourself. It could win sound, and it's winning Best Picture. Or we don't look. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it's winning Best Picture like it's a sure thing. But that's the calculus.
That's our assumption. But Marty Supreme is going to have frantic editing.
Yeah.
It's going to have the most editing, perhaps, of all the nominees. Just from what we know about the Safdies, and the trailer it's a bit of a sports movie too, isn't it?
Maybe Marty Supreme has great sound. Maybe
Marty Supreme is
maybe
a
it could win sound
for sound. If you think about how the Safdie brothers have used sound in their past films, it is artful. It is,
right. But artful doesn't win you the Oscar for
But
sound.
also, what if the ping pong? I mean, I don't know if ping pong you get that much
Actually,
credit.
artful does win you the Oscar because of zone of interest. But
that was an extreme case.
Yes.
I guess I will put Sinners at just be. It's kind of boring to just keep going. Oh, Sinners, cinematography.
I know, but that's what the Oscars do. They've been doing this. They've been giving the Best Picture winner like a bunch of awards.
Yeah.
And then on Oscar night, we're bored too. We're like, all right, yeah, Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Sinners also, if you know, on the second watch, they're like breezing through that film. They're like really trying to cut like and be efficient. Even though people think the first act is slow, it's actually not. They're packing in story.
I wouldn't like personally say Sinners had the best editing of the year.
No, but there is a lot of cross-cutting in the third act. And like, I wouldn't say it's like the best. You know, it could happen.
It could happen. You're right. Could happen.
It could happen, and we've seen it. There you go.
Tell me about
Body Supreme. I agree.
Tell me about sentimental value. What you've seen. What have you seen?
It's like how Banshees of Inisherin has great editing. The timing is fucking on point. It breathes. It uses like brilliant takes of the actors. It's also kind of showy. There's a couple montages of the house. Like the film opens up in like an unexpected way where there's like soundtrack and you're being like narrated the story. Like it's unconventional at times, in fact. And then it opens to this scene where there's a lot of tension built up around like a performance that is about to happen. And so the editing is actually quite masterful. It's not just conversations where it's also masterful, but it's more like visible because of those elements as well. I think the editing's going to happen, also, but I don't think it would win.
We do think it's a top 3 also.
Yeah. I immediately was like, I need that to get an editing nomination. And I think it will happen.
Now, Jay Kelly.
You don't have to have it in.
If it's a top 5 contender, I remember The Holdovers got editing and I felt like, yep. And I thought that once I thought about it as a top 5 contender, sometimes these dramedies, get in. They don't have to be flashy. Just kind of has to be about the timing, with the comedy. Kind of like we just said about Banshees. If Jay Kelly's top 5, it's not that hard to imagine get editing. And I mean, think about how well edited a Marriage Story was too. I mean, boy,
I agree with you. I mean, I lean towards having it in, but it's the kind of thing where it could deserve it and still not get it like Marriage Story because it's not. There's no spectacle. But again, like. It's mostly about whether you're top 5, and Marriage Story actually was not top 5.
That's right. It was number 6.
There you go.
Jay
Kelly's in.
Actually, might not have been number 6. Jojo Rabbit might have been number 6. Fucking shoot me in the face.
I'm between Rental Family and Springsteen.
I have Springsteen, sorry.
Well, American Fiction, actually, some people thought that would get in and it didn't. You know what?
How many dramedies are you going to have in, my friend?
Rental Family doesn't make sense, does it?
It's not a tech movie. It's not a tech movie.
Forget it. I'm being silly.
It makes sense if they really, really, really like it.
It would have to be like a top 3
It has to be top 3, that's the thing.
And even if it was, well, I'd be like...
It's not going to be top 3 with that few nominations, and Coda's over.
Right.
Coda's over. Deliver Me From Nowhere makes more sense, man. It's the music biopic. We know that they have a concert scene.
It gets a sound nomination, potentially wins sound.
There's just a little bit more, as you said, spectacle.
Yeah.
With performance, I think if it's low key performance.
I think just
Complete Unknown didn't get editing.
I think just what? Oh yeah, it didn't.
I don't have to put Deliver Me From Nowhere in, but give me another.
No, but you're not wrong though, because editing to music is always good, and it's going to get a sound nomination. I mean, House of Dynamite. Even September 5 was close, but September 5 had controversy. House of Dynamite, the editing's gonna rip. Because it's a Catherine Bigelow film. Her editing's also always interesting.
If it's not in picture, I'm not buying it.
I could see it getting like editing and screenplay hype and maybe an acting
screenplay.
Prize.
You said yourself, it's original.
Yeah, never mind. That couldn't happen, but
it could get
editing and
sound score and editing.
If sound is a thing, it could be in contention for editing and sound.
It's a very rare to do score. But again, it's a chamber movie, which I guess is part of the narrative too, or part of the challenge here.
Well, Catherine Bigelow's films are really powerfully edited. Like there's a lot of cuts.
I have it in the top 10.
Frenetic pacing.
Could say that about F1. F1 had a lot of editing.
I don't know.
I don't think it's going anywhere though.
I don't think F1 is just not good enough.
No other choice. I'm sure some critics groups will do that because Park Chan-wook's editing is freaking sick.
Well, hopefully they'll do it, but they didn't do it for
some did.
They did?
Some did. Yes, okay. They did it for decision to leave.
One battle after another. I think that is possible. In fact, why is that not like number 8 or 7?
Why would it be number 8 or 7? It's probably not going to get nominated. I don't think it's top enough contender.
I've just heard that there's a lot of action in that film.
Not that much action.
It's slow. It's kind of slow paced action, but there's a lot.
I've heard there's not that much action.
I've heard there's some very lengthy action scenes, but they're kind of like foot chases and they take their time.
PTA has only had one film nominated for editing.
Testament of Anne Lee. maybe Begonia. Wicked for Good.
Maybe anything.
Wicked for Good.
Fuck you.
Wicked for Good.
First one didn't get nominated.
Yeah, it did.
For editing?
Yeah.
Did it really?
Yeah, it really did.
No, it didn't.
Oh, it did, actually.
All right, but
You forgot.
hey, it's a sequel. We're done here. Production design. So when we moved Wicked to number 1, it was because we said they like going for original worlds, and Dune 2 is 2. So are you going to have Wicked for Good at number 1? For the same sets.
Right.
Some of the same sets.
Right. I feel like it's not going to win, but I do think it's definitely in there for a nomination. And the first one won by such a long, just many miles. It won costumes and production design by a lot.
Well, they didn't uproot the tulips and plant them again, man.
I don't really see like a shinier object necessarily.
You don't?
No.
Okay, well, what about Frankenstein?
It's there.
That's a $100 million budget Guillermo del Toro movie.
Very, very fair. Very fair. I think if you want to put that at number 1, that's justified. The sets from the trailer look pretty stunning.
Look, I'm having an issue here where I want to put Frankenstein at number 1 in 4 categories.
You can't do that.
And I can't do it yet until I have it in picture. I'll do it for production design right now. I mean, the sets look pretty stunning. It's a new world. Like, Sinners is definitely getting nominated, I agree. But I don't think The Barn is a production design win here.
No, I agree. I don't think it's going to win. I don't think that is enough for it to win, but I do think it's going to get the nomination for the Juke Joint. And also just because it's like a period film in Best Picture.
Avatar, Fire and Ash. I mean, I guess they do build new worlds in a sense with every Avatar film.
I'm not so sure about Avatar because production design is very tightly tied to Best Picture.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So listen, if Avatar doesn't get Best Picture, it's actually going to fall out of this category.
Nomination-wise?
I need to hear, for a nomination.
Huh.
I need to hear you admit that.
But I don't think so.
I'm not going to drop this until you admit it. It's true.
Production design is not usually 5 out of 5 Best Picture. It can be, but what? Yeah, you can go 4 out of 5 and put in an Avatar movie.
Yeah,
but
you can.
This. Hey,
you can.
Did you know that did you know the visual effects Oscar is actually tied to a production design nomination? Tenet even did it.
I don't know what your point is.
Avatar is going to win visual effects. It's the obvious point that I'm making.
Okay, fine. Well, let me just present to you some options. That the fact that you have Hamnet and Marty Supreme in Best Picture, makes Avatar less.
So Marty Supreme, I think they have a lot of locations is the thing.
And it's a period film.
I don't know if it's like absolutely crazy, but it is Jack Fisk is the other thing. It's Jack Fisk. Hamnet built the stage. They built the big stage.
What do they call it? They built a replica of the Globe Theater, and also the movie just looks gorgeous in general. I think that is going to get production design.
Can I comment that I don't see that many big set pieces other than the stage? They're kind of just like in the woods.
Yeah, in the woods. There's a lot of natural locations. Still production design.
You know, sometimes these movies get costumes and not production design. Like Little Women, for example. I know that building the stage is a different level. I have Marty Supreme over Hamnet. You're just not going to have Avatar?
Yeah.
You're a little crazy, aren't you?
No. No. Avatar could just be thought of as, we don't need to do that again. It's not new and fresh.
I mean, I guess, Wakanda Forever didn't get production design. The second Avatar movie had some really stunning, set designs with, the nets and, the village that they lived in. And, really, a unique design. I don't see that so much in the new one.
It's just, you only have a teaser. You only have the teaser trailer.
It's a lot of forest, which is just, blue pads in a blue screen. Maybe you're right. Maybe
I think it's weird to have an obvious contender from a Best Picture movie not in over Avatar.
I mean, it is true for the Hobbit sequels. Only the first one got nominated, and then they got sick of it for production design. Maybe they do get sick of it if it's not in Best Picture. It's we're just dropping it off just a little bit.
From the Hamnet trailer, the production design seems like, there's a village, there's a little village or something, and then there's the house they live in, but mainly the centerpiece is the Globe Theater.
I think that matters though, because that's what they'll sell to the voters, and they might not even need to do more than that. Kiss of the Spider-Woman I do have in the top 10. That had some really amazing set pieces, and they paid homage to old Hollywood musicals, the Golden Age musicals. I think it could happen, but I really think the movie could just flop, be a dead fish.
Can we just fully say without being like scared of it that this movie is absolutely nothing?
No,
Why?
because it has some dazzling text.
No, that it's not going to have a campaign.
No. What else does
Well, the
Lionsgate
campaign is going to be non-existent.
No, I don't agree with you at all. They put it in awards season release date, and they're going to try to campaign Jennifer Lopez. If the movie makes $3 million, then they'll probably stop.
That's what will happen.
I don't why I don't know. Maybe it'll make more. Jennifer Lopez has some fans. What if it makes like $10 to $15 million? They can campaign that. I'm just saying, like, it's not completely over for the movie. You got to chill. Testament of Ann Lee.
There was a Vanity Fair piece on that we read this morning, and that film is audacious. Let's just put it that way. There's a lot of screaming, a lot of singing and crying and shouting from Amanda Seyfried. It looks like she's
contorting, perhaps.
fucking like just pouring her soul and her spirit into the film, and it's just like like being fucking possessed. There's like graphic birth that is going
They
to
had
be
vagina birth prosthetics.
Yeah.
So here's my impression. I looked at your app and I saw some people who were like, "That's it. We're all in on Testament of Ann Lee now," and I can see that. But I also read the paragraph about like the birth and being like, this movie is going to be like a lot. It could be very grim, could be very dark, a little disturbing, like
overwhelming. And I'm not, I think this movie will get some very positive critic reviews. Like when it premieres at Venice, especially, I think that crowd is going to eat it up, and there will be a lot of like 100s people saying that this is an excellent film and should win the top prize at Venice. Like that kind of hype, I think I can imagine for it. But I'm also imagining some reactions, maybe the minority, but still a decent chunk that are like, I could not really deal with that movie. It was like too much for me. You know, it's ambitious, but I don't know if it really paid off. Part of the reason is because like the piece describes like just the extremism, the maximalism, and like the shouting and screaming. Like it sounds insane.
And maybe a tad experimental too. They definitely leaned into that with the score, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Maybe the most. Which
it may be confident that it could get some nominations though, like actress, score,
costumes,
like that kind of stuff. But as for Best Picture, and you know, production design falls under this umbrella, like it would need that kind of buzz, and we just have to wait and see.
We actually have no buzz still. We do not know. Like we haven't heard a damn thing.
Forget buzz.
You know.
We need to just wait for the reactions,
right? Well,
which are coming very soon.
I feel like it's Spencer. Spencer is my comparison right now.
Yeah. I can see that.
I'm gonna use Spencer
for now.
Other than that, I don't have too much. I really have almost nothing. I mean, One Battle After... that's like a contemporary movie. It's kind of out. Mickey 17 is not happening. Like, literally, that's it. Give me one other movie that's worth putting on the list, please.
Sentimental Value, The House is kind of the character.
Oh my goodness. You think they're going to nominate a contemporary movie like that?
Probably not. There's like a little bit of a reason. So I have it low in the list. I don't think it would take off like that, but maybe.
I literally can't think of any other movies that are
Springsteen...
worth having on the list.
Ballad of a Small Player, maybe.
Springsteen, fine. Costume design, again, I feel like you should try to not have Wicked at number one.
I could, but here's the thing: this could win a second time, and the precedent for that is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Oh yeah,
okay. Like costumes, again, you're not as tied to Best Picture, and I also think the costumes for Wicked stand out to such a degree that there might not be another film that can compete with it.
It looks like there's plenty of new costumes too.
Like I think Wicked won both by a mile, but it won costume design by like 10 miles.
Sure.
And it could be so far out up front that I actually think it's fine to keep it at number one.
That's fine. I'll keep it at number one. But also Frankenstein, you know, I looked at the trailer and it's freaking got some goods there. Like, it really does.
Yeah, keep it in.
Easily getting nominated.
Sure, Sinners, Ruth Carter.
Absolutely getting nominated. I mean, think about the one shot.
And then Marty Supreme Hamnet. Same production design 5.
Really?
Yep.
This is always dangerous. This always happens, but then it never actually happens.
Right. So maybe, you know, you could swap Avatar for something. But
it can definitely be 4 out of 5, though. Yeah, Hamnet, I feel like, is kind of easy. Marty Supreme makes enough sense.
Yeah.
Testament of Ann Lee, though, you know, they did release an image that showed off the costumes in that Vanity Fair article. Yeah. There's a lot there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot there. And that could get nominated without picture, too. So I have it at 6. And Kiss of the Spider Woman, I have it 7. Okay?
I have Hedda at 7.
Hedda's done.
Well,
Head is at nothing. And then you can throw in Springsteen if you want.
Makeup and hairstyling. Here's where I have Frankenstein at number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Here's where I have it at number 1. It makes sense. I think there's going to be prosthetics. The monster, who knows what he's going to look like, but that's going to be the main reason we give it.
You got a little peek of him in one of these images with his
Really?
eyes, and you can kind of see like some peeling skin, and like they've got a whole unique look, like take on Frankenstein here. Very much like Nosferatu. And last year was one of the strongest years for makeup that I can even imagine. I don't know what beats it. I think that's just the front runner for now. Wicked got nominated last time.
Yeah. Easily, too. I thought it was going to suffer a little bit for not having prosthetics, and it did not.
Well, Dune 2 didn't get nominated for makeup, did it?
No.
They're going to nominate... Okay,
we don't know if this is Dune 2. We don't know.
But you made her green more.
Well, it's also the hair, and there's a lot of like crazy hairstyles and wigs.
Cool. We all know that what really gets you nominated. It's face paint.
I mean, I think you keep it in. Smashing Machine, I have that in.
Yeah.
In the most recent Vanity Fair article, Dwayne Johnson said there were like 13 or 14 prosthetics that went into his face. He had a 3 to 4 hour makeup chair.
He did say that.
Which is as transformative as like any of these makeup winners, actually. If he was like a Best Actor contender, it could win.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a pretty safe nomination at this point. I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, I have The Wizard of the Kremlin at number 4 because Jude Law is playing Vladimir Putin and he has makeup. You can see there's some kind of image of it on the internet.
Well, they love the uncanny resemblance, you know? What are you going to do about that?
And then maybe I should have 28 Years Later in.
I don't think you should.
Really? Because there's a lot of makeup and prosthetics in that.
That's cool. That's true about all zombie movies, but can you tell me the last time they've nominated a zombie movie?
No.
I know you can't.
Because it's never happened.
I mean, I know this was kind of a prestige zombie movie, right?
Yeah. But those zombies looked like detailed. Like they had fucking maggot holes in them. There were like really weird things going on with their skin.
I have it close to 5. I have it close to
And then
the
we
top
could say it
5.
gets nominated for doing a prosthetic penis.
I mean, that's probably why Nosferatu got in.
Yeah.
But I think you got to be careful about the zombies, though, man. I'm just telling you got to be careful about the zombies.
Fine. What do you have?
I have Wolfman. Now,
the movie that no one cared about?
You think they won't nominate movies that no one cares about in makeup? Oh, that's their thing.
They might.
That's their thing.
I'm considering it.
I think it could get snubbed from the shortlist because they literally forgot about it. However, I watched a featurette on it. This is the kind of thing that gets nominated. It's Christopher Abbott with makeup on his face, and the other Wolfman movies win this category. And he has like different stages of how much he's a wolf.
Yeah.
And then the guy has been nominated before.
I do think that trumps like a bunch of zombies who are background characters getting makeup, because when you have like the protagonist transforming, they just seem to like that more.
I'm actually not sure how much makeup is on Jude Law in Wizard of the Kremlin, though. Like, I just looked at the makeup credits, and maybe they're not fully fleshed out, but there's no prosthetic artist, and there's only a team of 4, and there's no previous nominees in there.
What do you mean? There's obviously prosthetics on there.
Are there? I don't know. I mean, maybe his hair is just blonde. Actually, I think it does look like there's some light prosthetics on here to get the little, changing the face like a little bit.
But it's not that much.
Yeah, but it might be enough. I don't know.
Maybe it's like The Apprentice, though.
Yeah, but The Apprentice would have gotten in if there was less competition. And then there's Sinners, which, huge Best Picture contender. But again, they don't necessarily care if you're like out front in Best Picture. I mean, they care mostly about prosthetics. And so what do you have? You have vampire teeth. The biggest thing is when Jack O'Connell's face is like melting off in the end. But that's, for like a second.
I actually kind of don't believe in Sinners for makeup.
Yeah.
Honestly, there was like a zombie wound on like one of the guy's faces, and it looks just like it's popping out, which is actually how they do prosthetics. Like they don't like dig into your face, obviously, but like it really looked obvious that it was like sticking out.
Yeah. I don't know.
And it kind of looked like not good.
I'm flirting with weapons a little bit here. She had Joker makeup. And, the hair piece that she had. Where
I guess.
She's got like
the fake looking wig.
When she takes the wig off, though.
It's maybe worth considering.
I think she has a little makeup on her face. Like, I think she has makeup to make her look older and weirder, too. Maybe even prosthetics.
But that's kind of it. I'm actually thinking maybe we do 28 Years Later and not The Wizard of the Kremlin. Because that movie doesn't have that much prosthetics, and it might just be okay.
All right, I think I agree with you.
Like, some of the zombies in 28 Years Later, their entire body is a suit. They're not naked at all.
I mean, I guess it's true that most of the time zombies aren't naked, right? Most zombie movies are silly. And 28 Years Later was really taken seriously. I mean, if there's a most makeup, this is probably it. If we're being honest. That's probably it.
Marty Supreme is maybe a long shot, but again,
For what?
like you can't convince me if there's no prosthetics.
I am unconvinced.
Warfare would be a nice nomination. That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Hamnet. I've seen some people doing that. There's no prosthetics. I already said it. I can say it till I'm blue in the face. Maybe the Testament of Anne Lee, they'll understand that like the vaginas are.
They are not going to nominate vaginas.
They're not.
So visual effects, we have Avatar winning. It's not hard. There's no challenging that.
There's no debate there.
F1, we have at number 2 now. Why? Apparently it does have as many visual effects as any other mega blockbuster. Over 1,000 shots. All the crowds are fake. Most of the racing didn't happen. Like, they were not racing with other cars at all.
No.
Like, they completely reskinned all the cars. Like, so much of it is CGI. And I just believed the whole damn thing. I fell for it again.
Yeah.
Fell for it again award because I fell for it with Top Gun as well, thinking that didn't have that much visual effects.
Joseph Kosinski has spoken about this. Basically, they obviously couldn't have Brad Pitt doing any racing in the real races, so they filmed the races and then they like inserted his car into it. I think the visual effects were probably absolutely stunning the more you know about them, and the fact that they were so seamless is more reason to praise that film.
I think it also just kind of makes sense for that movie to get in with its sound nomination too.
Yeah, I think 2 nominations for F1 is reasonable.
Wicked for Good, I mean, look, they nominated the first one, so I don't have to say too much more. They really don't care if you're a sequel in this category. So
That's probably fair. I didn't even have Wicked in. Funnily enough, we should discuss. But
buddy, there's not that much competition.
You're right. Okay, so Superman, I have that in.
Maybe.
Because I thought the visual effects were very good.
To be clear, this would be the first DC film nominated for visual effects. Okay. I mean, I guess it's not in the universe. It's James Gunn.
It's not a Zack Snyder film.
It's not a Zack Snyder film.
It feels a little more crisp.
I agree. It feels a little bit more like a Marvel film. And I think that there's easily a case for it. Like, if it was a Marvel film, I would have no problem putting it in. So maybe I don't want to, hold it to, what studio made it. I mean, it was probably made more like a Marvel film. It's where James Gunn's from. All of his Guardians movies got nominated.
I was just, like, legitimately impressed.
Sometimes it looks a little rubbery, sometimes a little muddy, but, like, it was above average. It was still, like, very good.
And it was one of the bigger blockbuster films of the year.
Yeah. And then you could do Fantastic Four because, again, they do want to nominate some Marvel movies. Now, a lot of people don't seem to quite believe Fantastic Four is getting in here. I haven't seen the movie, so I actually can't attest, but it seems like they go to space a little bit. People were trying to predict Deadpool last year because they were like, well, they have to nominate a Marvel movie. They have to! And I don't agree with that, but I think that this movie has a lot more visual effects than Deadpool. It's got big city battles where buildings are getting destroyed, people are flying and zipping through the air. It's different from Deadpool and Wolverine. I'll tell you that. And it was a well-liked movie.
We need to consider Mission Impossible. The previous film, the part 1 of the part 2, got nominated for the first time out of any Mission film. It also got nominated for sound. So why not this one? What's going on?
Well, people didn't like this one as much. This was the most underwhelming movie for people out of the last 5. And I think that hurts, You can look at the visual effects and the sound design or whatever on their merits, but it does matter if people felt your movie was a big success or a disappointment. And even people who liked it think it's a little bit of a disappointment. I mean, they probably have about as many visual effects as the last one that got nominated. That's fair.
Yeah.
But Jurassic World Rebirth, I mean, they haven't nominated any of these movies since... Okay, so they've never nominated a Jurassic World movie. But it's Gareth Evans... who, the creator was nominated. I guess, Godzilla didn't even get nominated. I don't know.
I think we need to consider that Frankenstein could maybe have more visual effects than we think with that $120 million budget.
Oh, I can see the visual effects in the trailer, my friend. But here's the thing. This is just that one contender that people overestimate, like they did with The Shape of Water, like they did with Dunkirk. It's, a Best Picture contender, craft contender that has visual effects. Like... Poor Things did not get nominated. This one does have a bigger budget.
It's not like Poor Things.
Okay, but what are the visual effects? Let's go to what they are, because it matters to me. Because Society of the Snow was a movie that people thought would get in because it was kind of like a really good movie that had visual effects. I mean, it did have this plane crash sequence, but most of it was like, oh, we put mountains in the background and stuff. And it was like, yeah, you did do that, but I feel like they nominate more like intricate things in the visual effects, like creating a character, creating entire battle sequences and like buildings falling and like
I think you don't need to rant too much because I'm not like putting it in. It's not going to be a watershed of visual effects. It's just here and there, sprinkle it around.
I mean, I see plenty in the trailer, but I'm also not like wowed. I don't think it looks ahead of its time, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we don't know what it will be like, but I think we need to consider How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
That has creatures in it, and that movie actually wasn't panned like we thought it was going to be. I think people have remarked that the visual effects were good. I don't know. I didn't see that film. You can chime in about what you think.
I mean, most live action remakes don't contend too hard in this category. And the dinosaurs are a little cartoony. I actually have Tron Ares at number 6. Now,
Wow.
I think the
6?
So the first one got nominated. This one I think looks kind of mid. People will probably think the movie's okay, and I think that will hurt it. But when I watched
People
the
also
trailer,
thought Tron Legacy was mid.
when I watched the trailer though, I saw some shit. I saw people like disintegrating into like dust.
Yeah.
I saw cars getting split in half by like a red beam, and it looked like very clear and like professional.
I agree with what you're saying. I think the visual effects did look very sharp and clean. But like a movie could also be really bad. It could also be just straight up bad.
It could be pretty bad, maybe, yeah.
Mickey 17's not
Mickey
happening.
17's over. Thunderbolts you can put on, it might get shortlisted.
The Lost Bus. I don't know why some people seem to think that that's maybe a visual effects contender.
Well, there's a lot of fire. I mean, I have to say that it crossed my mind when I watched the trailer. But again, it's kind of like Society of the
fire.
Snow. It's like, okay, yeah, it's fire and trees. Like,
Yeah. Fire and trees.
Okay, I'm sure that there are some 100% visual effects shots of the bus going through. But again, I don't think that's that crazy. Sound, I think I gotta move off F1.
What do you mean, off of the number one?
Off of it being number 1. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't think the sound was like next level. I thought it was very good, but the music does a lot of work in the racing scenes.
Yes.
But again, I'm looking at like what else is contending, and I'm like, maybe I do have it number 1 still.
I've seen people just making the argument that, hey, Academy Awards seem to like Vroom Vroom movies, and this is that.
I'll keep it at number 1. Again, it's a general vote for the win. And they might just say, well, that movie was loud. And also, I think it having a VFX nomination, you know, it makes it a little easier to swallow that it would just get like a lone sound win and then that's it.
I mean, there's just not a lot of competition here. I don't see Avatar winning sound.
Yeah, but I think
right?
Avatar is
That'd be kinda
a
weird.
pretty easy nominee.
I mean, did the first one even win sound? No, it did not. The
No.
Hurt Locker won
The
sound.
Hurt Locker won sound.
Second one didn't win sound, wasn't close. So why would the third one win
Yeah,
sound?
I don't think it would. Now you have Wicked for Good, which
I think Sinners could win sound by being a musical.
there's got to be a limit to just Sinners winning Oscars because it's number 1. Like, there's got to be a limit.
I agree,
Like-
but I wonder if people will think the score and the sound kind of blend together. I don't know if
But
that's
they're gonna
true.
I think they're gonna be more likely to give the credit to the score there, though.
I don't even think the sound in Sinners outside of the score is outstanding.
I don't think it's enough that it just has a lot of music in it.
I think it being a music film gets it a nomination, but
Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, that definitely makes sense. I mean, again, this sound designer did Complete Unknown and like 20 other movies that got nominated.
that'll be my number 2.
You're number 2.
I think a Complete Unknown was maybe number 2 or 3 last year.
Right, but Complete Unknown's a little bigger, had more concert scenes, had a lot more concert scenes. You know, this is a lot of...
I don't. You don't know what this is.
I
Gonna
think
do with
this
the
is
sound.
mostly Bruce plucking on his guitar.
That might be fine. I was actually the most stunned in A Complete Unknown by the acoustic scenes. Wicked for Good obviously gets a nomination. Am I wrong about that?
No, it's a musical in Best Picture.
Yeah.
As long as it is
Obviously.
in Best Picture, of course.
And then I have Avatar at number 5.
Number 5 is kind of, I guess, maybe if you want. Yeah, I think that's...
If you wanted to put it over Sinners, I wouldn't.
That's a really good
hate
5.
you.
I don't know how else to make a 5 out of this. I mean, Warfare, insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Should get sound. Probably won't because it's not a huge contender in other categories at the end of the day. But that should definitely get a sound nomination. I mean, the sound work was incredible.
This has happened with, like, Lone Survivor, I think. But that came out right at the end of the year. This was an early year release. It didn't make that much money. Like, if this made Civil War money, maybe A24 could push it a little harder. Civil War didn't get nominated, but it was close. It was longlisted. And this movie has even better sound design than Civil War. And so I actually think it will make the long list, right? How does Warfare not make the long list? And then you go from there. Like, if they're paying attention to Warfare, if you got a bake-off, oh boy, that could surprise.
Do they do sound bake-offs?
They do.
Unexpected contender. I know everyone's going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I actually don't think anybody at all is predicting this film. Tuner. This film is premiering at TIFF. I don't know if it'll come out this year. I don't even know if it has a distributor. Johnny Byrne is doing the sound for this, and it's about a piano tuner. So I don't know if that would actually get a sound nomination, but could be really interesting.
I think A House of Dynamite is fair to have on the list as well. And then One Battle After Another has some car chases, probably some gunshots, definitely some gunshots. So,
but weirdly, I haven't heard that that's like a sound contender.
Yeah, but I think it's, and then there's Frankenstein, I'm sure has a lot of sound design.
Frankenstein's probably like a decent bet. Maybe that's even number 6 if I'm being objective about it, right?
I don't know. I think if it was in Best Picture, it would probably happen.
The Testament of Ann Lee. Ann Lee is a musical.
Ann Lee is a musical. I think
that is a sound contender. Mission Impossible, same thing with visual effects. It's either happening or it's not. People are either going to try to nominate it or...
You have Marty Supreme. I mean, the sound design might be very good in that because the Safdies, they do pay attention to that sound design. Maybe The Running Man. Baby Driver is nominated. Last Night in Soho shortlisted. Sound and Edgar Wright's movies is good. The movie looks pure fun and not like an Oscar contender, but hey, let's just throw it on there. Score. Do you still have Sinners winning?
Obviously.
I think there's some competition here, though. Sinners is a great case to win. Ludwig, look, he could do 3. I don't know. Why not? Marty Supreme. Daniel Lopatin. Wonder Tricks Point Never. Welcome to being an Oscar nominee for him. Did the score for Uncut Gems. Good time. And I think he's going balls out on the score.
And you think that would win score for being like techno?
I don't know what genre it is.
Or
it's probably
synthy.
It may be synthy, but I don't know what's going on. I have no clue.
It's probably very electronic.
I'm just saying the score might go really hard.
I think it will because the score is usually great in their films, and I like Daniel Lopatin, so I have that in. I have it at number 2.
You could put Jay Kelly also pretty high because Nicholas Britell has not won an Oscar.
I have Jay Kelly in. That makes sense. Nicholas Britell.
If he does,
the score will probably be very memorable. You can hear the score in the trailer.
I mean, look, the way that the score was used in Marriage Story, like, oof.
I have Hamnet, Max Richter. Now, Max Richter has not been nominated for an Oscar, I think.
But he hasn't really done any big awards movies. I mean, the biggest score he did was like Ad Astra, although his music plays in movies all the time.
Yeah, they use his music in films like Arrival.
He got Arrival disqualified.
Yes, he got Arrival disqualified. His style is well known and often kind of copycatted.
It's a great opportunity for a first nomination, I'm sensing.
Yeah. I love Max Richter, so I would love if he got a nomination for Hamnet. And I have Hamnet in Best Picture and a bunch of other fucking categories right now, so why would I not?
I mean, it's kind of the perfect movie for him to compose, right? Like, it's very emotional and it's playing to the heartstrings.
And even in the Vanity Fair piece, they make a point that his music was influential for the actors to get into character. They played his music for them, and then they felt like they understood the scene better. Okay. Like, it's this meditative grief drama, right? Like, his music is perfect for, bringing out the feels. Then I have Johnny Greenwood for One Battle After Another.
Yeah.
Because, hey, I think that's the craft that is most likely to land for that movie. Johnny Greenwood's been nominated many times. People are very aware of his collaborations with PTA. And he's probably going to be doing some wacky shit like he always does. And we're going to love to see it.
Yeah, it seems very piano-centric. I mean, I really like the score. Really dig the score from the trailer. Maybe it's not like as in your face as, Phantom Thread or There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
And
I don't think it's going to be as epic as those scores.
Right. And so I don't know if it's a cusp picture contender, maybe we'll have to see how far that goes. There's also a lot of competition here, I got to say. Like, you can dip out a little bit outside Best Picture. Frankenstein, Desplat, I think most people have this in. But again,
Desplat doesn't get nominated.
Desplat's been on a fucking losing streak.
Yeah. But those are films that weren't really contending in other categories, and Frankenstein is a much bigger craft.
Right.
player.
It is a bigger craft. I mean, look, if he's given us like a freaking sick, gorgeous, gothic score,
yeah,
it's gonna be huge.
I agree. It might be huge.
Might have to put him
I have
in
it at number 6.
I might have to put him in over.
You can put him in over
Johnny Greenwood. Johnny Greenwood gets snubbed a lot. Well, he didn't.
And I also feel like I'm not as excited about the score in One Battle After Another because it's very just like thum 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 thum.
Well, you'll have to see.
And it'll just be like it's like a prepared piano, just like.
I don't know why you're not excited about that. When you're watching Frankenstein at TIFF, it's gonna be like, like it's gonna be.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, whoa. You're gonna be like, whoa.
It's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna be crazy. And I think
snubs do happen in score. And so, I think it matters how passionate people are about the movie.
I think people will like Frankenstein.
Volker Bertelmann for House of Dynamite, that could be big. I mean, Volker Bertelmann's scores so far have been very in your face, hard to ignore. So his score for House of Dynamite could be pretty iconic as well.
What about his score for Ballad of a Small Player? I mean,
Oh,
that's what he's been nominated
true.
for the past 2 times. Is it not?
Yurskin Fendrix for Begonia, that's going to be sick.
If that's in picture, I think it's going to be nuts. I heard that he's got like a massive orchestra for this one. I think he's going real hard. And I'm just excited about Yurskin Fendrix in general. We'll see how Begonia does. We'll see if Begonia's in picture.
And then Daniel Blumberg for Testament of Anne Lee. The Oscar winner of last year for The Brutalist is back, and I think it's going to be as stunning of a score, and it's going to matter how much people love Anne Lee in general. But it might be so epic and so stunning that maybe he gets in either way, because the musical scenes, like, he will be responsible for creating that sound, right?
Yeah, and they went on about him in the Vanity Fair article about all these experimental techniques that he used for the score and the unconventional like arrangements.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a crazy good score. I'm really excited for it. But again, they can snub anything if they think your movie's like too weird. They can snub you for anything. So.
Right. And the top 5 we have right now, I think, is very safe.
Yeah, it is safe.
It'd be cool to imagine if they could throw in a best score nominee for like one of these non-best picture movies. Like, if Begonia's not in Best Picture, I'm sure the score is still going to be insane. But we just don't really live in that world where I can be as confident. After The Hunt, we have Reznor and Ross. That's on my list. I have Rental Family, because that is probably a Best Picture nominee.
It's Alex Sommers and Beyoncé.
Yeah, I could see it.
It'll probably be a very emotional score, and that could hit in the right moments.
Some people are confident in sentimental value for score. I'm not quite there.
Yeah, I don't know if
it's
I
a little
see
more
that.
subtle.
Wicked for Good. I mean, the first one got nominated, but this is like a repeat nomination. I'm pretty confident it's just not going to happen again. I'd be pretty surprised. And at the bottom of my list, I have Train Dreams. I think it's just not going to happen though. But the score in Train Dreams was prominent.
That's
was
not gonna
very
happen.
good. It was Bryce Dessner.
Didn't
Really
even
nice.
happen for Sing Sing.
Really lovely on the ears.
Absolutely.
In original song, this is a very competitive year. Very exciting, actually. And at the same time, I'm like, how much room is there even outside of like what we have? I mean, I might have 4 out of 5 right here. How do you not nominate Cynthia Erivo's song from Wicked? Even if the movie misses picture, that will still get nominated.
It would happen.
Okay, that's locked. She might win. That might be a good way to give her an Oscar. I Lied to You from Sinners. How do you not? I mean, unless they just campaign different songs.
I think that one is going to pick up organic traction from critics groups. So even if they thought like some other song in the film was more campaignable, they're going to realize like, oh, never mind, people like that song. It's the song that where Miles Caton sings I Lied to You, but it becomes the long take. So the song has a lot encompassed within it. And I actually think because it's such a crucial point in the film and for the story that it could win. Although I do have the Cynthia Erivo song winning for Wicked because it's more of like a Broadway, like punch you in the gut song.
Other Sinners songs that they could campaign. Let's just go through them. I think there's 3 others. One is Sinners. It's by Rod Wave. I don't really know who that is. Not my favorite, but I could see them thinking that that's a play.
No, because it's not in the movie. No one even knows it.
It's actually the second most played song on Spotify.
Does that really matter usually?
Then there's Last Time I Seen the Sun.
That's the credit song.
Yeah. And I like that one. That's fair. I would love to see Pale Pale Moon nominated.
That's not going to happen.
I mean, I thought that was a real song that existed like a long time ago. Campaigning 2 songs, focusing on 2 songs is a real thing. Speaking of double song nominations, we very well may have one for Wicked, and Ariana Grande has an original song. So like, how do you deny that?
I have that.
I have both of those in. I don't have 2 Sinner songs. I just don't know what else would be. The last 2 slots I also think are like super competitive. So of course Diane Warren has a slot guaranteed for her with Dear Me. This is from the documentary about Diane Warren and is written and performed by Kesha. Folks, there's no fighting it. There is no fighting it. It's done.
Is this documentary coming out this year?
It already came out.
Did anyone care?
Nope.
All right, well,
You know how it goes.
I know how it goes.
In fact, every year that passes, people care less and less about the movies that she's part of. So you just have to put that in. I'm sorry. I know it's competitive. And then there's Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. This song has been stuck in my head since I saw it. I have heard children singing this song as I ride the train. It's everywhere. It's number 1. It's a number 1 hit. It's massive, and I think the movie might win animated feature. And in another world, if you didn't have like, you know, Wicked and Sinners, this could win song. It's a huge like pop song with like mega vocals, okay? It's just the kind of thing that they are going to nominate. I don't see a way around it at this point. So what else could happen? I mean, the biggest threat to this category is if Bruce Springsteen does an original song for Deliver Me From Nowhere. But this is just not confirmed. It's an entirely speculative rumor. It's just because he did one for the Wrestlers that people go, oh, Bruce Springsteen sometimes does original songs.
I mean, Elton John did an original song for Rocket Man, so there's been precedent in that regard.
Wait, Bruce Springsteen won an Oscar already. He actually won for Philadelphia, and he got nominated for Dead Man Walking. So people are like, oh, well, they didn't give him one for The Wrestler. And it's like, okay, yes, he got stuff for The Wrestler, but he has won an Oscar. The thing is that he does do original songs. He even got nominated for a Golden Globe for She Came to Me. You've probably forgot about that. If he's doing all these original songs, it's like, you're not going to do one for your movie here? Like, I don't know. It is well-founded speculation, but I'm not going to have it in until I know for sure that's happening. And if I learned that he was doing it, I don't know what I would take out.
There's going to be an original song in The Testament of Ann Lee. Apparently, the songs in the film are not original largely, but Daniel Blumberg is doing an original song for, I think, the credits, which is based on the folk songs in the film, which were folk songs in real life. Highest to Lowest.
This crazy power ballad at the end of Highest to Lowest. Pretty amazing vocals on that one. It did strike me as a possibility when I saw that movie.
Right.
But the movie is very muted. It doesn't seem to be going that hard with marketing. I don't know why they would go super hard for an Academy Award nomination.
I mean, fair enough if they think it's just kind of against them, but it's song. Like, you don't need to see the movie to get the song campaigned. They're going to try to campaign that song because why not?
No,
right?
they should.
So they'll try to campaign it. We'll see if it'll work.
It's so competitive. I feel silly even saying some of the songs at the bottom, but there is going to be an original song from Spinal Tap 2 that could be like kind of a fun comedy song. I think that anyone who really thinks that My Sweet Beth from The Naked Gun is getting nominated has
No.
They're a little bit hope-dicting, but I think they could mount a campaign for it as a joke. The song from Materialist from Japanese Breakfast is not happening, and that's all I have. I mean, Zootopia 2 could pump out a song, but it wouldn't get nominated. And those are our Oscar predictions for Before the Fests, which are starting at least on the day that you see this, and they're just gonna ruin everything maybe, or we're gonna be prophets and we're gonna be right. But man, Venice is going on as you're watching this, and Telluride is like this weekend, and then we go to TIFF, and it's all nuts.
It's a good time to make sure that you are a member of the channel, because when we go to festivals, it is very difficult for us to get the content out on time, and we don't do any edits, and we just get it out there to the patrons. So you get a little bit of that first access into our thoughts as the festival is happening. And, you know, we'll see you at TIFF. Like, we are leaving on September 3rd. Oscar season is among us.
It was already Oscar season.
It's always Oscar season.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
How do you think Sinners is going to perform in the craft categories?